Bad Education is a new HBO film starring Hugh Jackman and Allison Janney, and it tells the real story of the biggest public school embezzlement in American history that happened back in 2002. To dumb it down for a lot of you who don't know what big words like embezzlement mean, basically people are taking money from this public school and obviously that's illegal, and we see how that all unfolds, and it is based on a true story. I actually was not planning on reviewing this film. I just kind of watched it today and I'm like, yeah, I heard about this. I saw like Zach Pope's little 4-star review on Letterboxd about it, and then some other people, and then Austin Burks, and then right before I filmed this, Chris Stuckman put his review out, and I'm like, okay, people are actually talking about this, and then the more I thought about it, the better it got, and this film is great. I watched this film on Crave with my Movies Plus HBO subscription that like my family has, and thank God I did because this film was just amazing. Hugh Jackman is one of my favorite people working today, from his work as Wolverine to his phenomenal, maybe the best of his career work in Prisoners from 2013, my favorite film of his. I think he's one of the most talented people working today, but like not only acting, but like singing, dancing, all of that. And this is actually some of his best work. There's a scene in the third act involving him, and then there's this kid and he's trying to read something out and he can't pronounce this one word, and Hugh Jackman kind of keeps repeating it as this kid can't say it, and then he kind of just explodes, I'll say. And it is one of the best scenes I've ever seen from him. This film is great and the performances are amazing. Also incredible is Allison Janney. She's an actress who I really like, and she's great in Juno, one of my favorite films of all time. I still think her best performance is in I, Tonya, but this is also some of her best work. The entire supporting cast is great, with people like Ray Romano and Welker White, which sounds ironically a lot like Walter White, who were also, ironically, both in The Irishman from last year. But Ray Romano is amazing here. He really stands out, and I thought he had some of the best scenes inside the film. I'm not going to spoil anything because I feel like people, like Canadians like me, if you have Crave or you have the HBO subscription thing, that's when you watch it. I don't know about Americans, I don't know how you'll see it, but yeah. I don't think there was a bad performance inside the entire film. Someone who stood out to me was this name right here. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it because I just know I can't, but she's great as this young journalist, and she really helps the film kind of get on track, because one of my problems with it is that it takes a bit to get into. Now, when you get into the film, you're very invested, but it takes maybe half an hour for you to get invested, and since it's only an hour and 45 something, hour 48 minutes, that's kind of a problem. This is Corey Finley's second feature film. I have not seen his first one in Thoroughbreds, but I've heard good things about it, so I might check it out soon. His direction really keeps you invested in the story when it gets on track, and that's what I really liked in this film, is that the story is so interesting, and the fact that it's based on a true story, it really feels like that. There are some twists and turns throughout the entire film, and I thought the way they were handled, pretty much all of them, were really good. There was some involving the embezzlement stuff, and some actually involving the characters, especially Hugh Jackman's character. And again, the way it was dealt with was amazing. The script was probably my favorite aspect of the film, besides the acting, because all the dialogue feels real. It feels fresh. It never ever feels like someone's reading from a script. That is like the biggest praise you could give a screenplay writer. Yeah. That's a word, right? Yeah. And apparently the person who wrote this actually went to the high school where all this went down. I don't know, I heard that in Chris Stuckman's review, but that's very interesting. As I said, for my problems, I wish that you got on track a bit earlier on, because you kind of feel for about half an hour like, when am I really going to get invested? And then you do. You get insanely invested. But it's that first act that takes a bit of time, but when you get to the second and third act, you're just totally riveted by this story. I really liked this film. I thought it was great. Bad Education is a great film. One of my favorites of this year, although I've only seen 6, with some top-notch performances. Although I do wish I learned more about this person's character and that I got on track with the story faster. I think that once you're into it, once you're really back in 2002 when all this was going on, the film gets great. It's got some nice twists and turns throughout the entire thing that really keep you invested. I'm gonna give Bad Education a B+. If you've seen Bad Education, tell me what you thought in the comments down below. In a few days, I'll be doing my classic movie review of this month. This time around, it will be Rebel Without a Cause, starring James Dean. I'm very excited to watch that film and then talk about it, so that'll be coming maybe in 2-3 days. Actually, as I said, I was not expecting to review this film. That this is like the first weekend and probably one of the only weekends where I'll be reviewing 2 new releases. Extraction was yesterday, and yeah, I highly recommend actually seeing them both. This one I liked a bit more, but yeah, thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Over and out.